Welcome to another episode of Life and Whiskey. As always, I'm Jordan, and today we're going to look at another Wyoming whiskey. So, being in Wyoming, I really wanted to try and showcase more whiskeys from Wyoming. Locally, I've had trouble getting the stores to actually get them in stock, and I think I might have found a supplier now that can help work on that a little bit. And I don't mean just Wyoming whiskey brand Wyoming whiskey. I mean there's stuff down in Casper that what is that? Backwards Distilling. There's Arcola over in Carpenter, Wyoming. Pine Bluffs, which will be the next video, in Pine Bluffs, Wyoming. There's stuff out in Pinedale, Wyoming. I think that's Golden Spur. We looked at the Golden Spur corn whiskey here once upon a time, so check that video out. And then there's Wyoming whiskey. I don't know if they make any whiskeys, but I know there's a distillery over in Jackson. There's a distillery in Cody. There's a couple other small distilleries. I know there's one here in town, but they don't make any whiskey products. They make more liqueur kind of things. And so, anyways, I just wanted to kind of shine a spotlight on Wyoming products. And so, I've already done a Wyoming whiskey, their regular small batch. I've already done a review of that. And really good whiskey. If you heard bad things about it from the original, they released, so in 2012 is when they started. I think they came out with their first release, maybe the fall of 2012 or 2013, something like that. I remember trying it back then, and they released it at only 2 years in the barrel. So it was only aged for 2 years. That way it was a straight whiskey. And it was god-awful, to be honest with you. And I think they really, really hurt themselves in doing that. However, now they've had enough years and time to be able to make some really nice products. They got a pretty big line now. I want to say they're up to like 7 or 8 different whiskeys. They're a big producer. Their goal is to be the biggest producer west of the Mississippi, so that people can do barrel picks and stuff like that. And it is a really good whiskey now. And if you watch my review of this one, of their regular whiskey, you'll know that I kind of share that same story. I say, hey man, when I first had this, I was not really a fan of it at all. And it is way more complex and much nicer now that it's had time in the barrel to age appropriately, and it is really good. So what this is then is, and we'll compare the two here, but this is Wyoming whiskey. I believe these are the same mash bill, but this one is a store pick. All right, so for T&C Liquors, this is from barrel 2439. And it is bottled at cask strength, so 107.82 proof or 53.91% ABV. So a little bit higher proof, and so the little tag on here is exclusively bottled for T&C Liquors in Wyoming, single barrel, bottled at cask strength. I've already tapped into it a little bit. These two whiskeys do not taste alike, and we'll get into that. This one's quite a bit different, but really, really nice. And there's an odd note in there that when I was trying it last night, I couldn't quite put my finger on it, what it might be, but it was still really good. So on the nose, I can pick up that note that I'm talking about. I'll do my best to try and find a descriptor for it, but it's just an odd, I'll call it a funk, but in a good way, not in a bad way. It's almost like a malt. But you get corn, a little bit of just a slight cherry, apple, honey, very strong honey in here. A little bit of oak in there. Just that little bit of like a malty funk. It's almost like a Scotch funk, but not quite. That's not quite the right descriptor, but it's something in that same bracket, we'll say. Drinks a lot lighter than 107 proof, which is nice. Not hardly any ethanol burn. It has a thick, creamy, oily kind of coats your mouthfeel. Very forward. It's all sweet forward. So honey, honey for days. Vanilla, a really strong creamy caramel. Um, and then it moves into a fruit note. And then at the end of the mid is when I pick up that kind of weird malty, grainy funk in there. It's kind of interesting. The ethanol burn picks up in the beginning, carries through, but very subdued in the background. That time I got a little bit of like cherry cough syrup, along with all those really sweet notes. The finish, you get just a slight hint of black pepper in there, but it's mostly a sweet, creamy finish as well. A little bit of fruit, a little cherry, a little apple in there. I'd say the apple probably dominates over the cherry, but I mean, just super, super nice. Really like that one. Like I said, especially at the proof that it's at, it is it's really nice. So pick that up at T&C Liquors here in town for $56.99. I think the normal, this regular small batch stuff is what was it, 40? It's either 34 or 44. I don't remember, and I'm sorry, I did not pay close enough attention yesterday. I want to say 750 is like 44 bucks. So you know, for $10 more to get a store pick, and a lot higher proof, I'd say it's definitely worth it for that. So this already reviewed, 44%, 88 proof. It's their small batch bourbon, and what we get here compared to here. So this one became a lot more. The honey turned up, the caramel turned up, those sweet notes really dominate along with a lighter fruit, so that apple. The original small batch here, put that in frame a little bit better, is more dark, dark sweet notes, so like a molasses, and a cherry. Definitely doing an A-B comparison. This is the darker of the two. This is lighter and sweeter. Same mouthfeel, even though the proof is different. Just a creamy, heavy caramel, a little bit of that molasses, sweet, and you know, having an A-B comparison with one right after the other. The flavor of the store pick is going to impact the flavor of the original stuff, this type of comparison, but man, creamy, a little bit of oak at the end, hint of cherry. Man, I really like that. Just good all the way around. So, like I said, I'm pretty sure this is like $44, $54.99 for that one. I know Wyoming Whiskey distributes all across the U.S., so if you can, let me know in the comments down below what you can find a bottle for in your area, what you think about it. I know you won't be able to get this one specifically because it's a store pick, but if you can find a store pick in your area, I highly encourage you to do so. Mead, the distiller over at Wyoming Whiskey, he sets aside barrels kind of from a certain area that are fairly similar, let's say, for store picks specifically. So even though it's not going to be the same barrel or you know, the same exact notes or whatever, if you liked what I had to say, chances are you're going to find a lot of similarities in a store pick in your area if you can find one. So go ahead and pick those out. Otherwise, drop in the comments down below what you think about Wyoming whiskey, if you've ever had an experience with it. You've definitely had an experience with the first release versus the stuff that's come out since it's been aged properly. Love to hear a story about that, prices, and what you think. And I think that's all I got for this one. So thanks for watching, greatly appreciate it, and as always, have yourselves a great day, and we'll catch you in the next video.